That's Wedge 10 leather with black polishing compound rubbed in it. 40 to 50 strokes. Really polishes up nice. How are y'all today? I decided to do something with these. And their buddies. This old dried up piece is about 8 to 10 ounce. Had to get it wet. Make it a little pliable that way. What I need is a cutting board. You know what I'm saying? This is a saddle shop. There was. I have to see if I can find that picture of the before I ever put anything in there. First thing that was in there is a box full of puppies. Okay. I think it was right there, yeah. Just squaring it off to start with. I'm going to make it like I do holsters. Sew it together around the object. I'm doing a holster. I put the handgun in a plastic bag and just sew the holster right onto it. About 3 layers of plastic bag is good because it gives it room to so that pistol or revolver is not doesn't stick. You want it to stay in, but you want it to come out when you need it to. Alright, that's pretty good. This old piece of leather has been laying around there about 10 years. It's pretty hard. I'm not pushing real hard. I got carpal tunnel in both wrists. Cool. Now what? Then I take the knife and I put it away. I don't lay it on the bench. Don't want that on there. Scratch it. This is not much better, but a little bit. Now what are we going to do? Okay, we got a if I do it in 2 pieces, I got the short end down there, so that'll work for the front. And so then I could just set these on here like that. That one got in the mud somewhere. I think I used it for something. Saddle shop. How may I direct your call? Okay, we're rolling again. Phone call's over. I got some business coming up here pretty quick, but that's okay. Okay, instead of telling us this about you, I'm going to tell about me. When I'm designing something, sometimes I'll build or idea something, whether it's a axe sheath or for a knife or a pistol or a revolver or a rifle or whatever I'm doing. I might build the first one out of two pieces, and during the process of learning all the dimensions, then I can come up with a way I can build it out of one piece. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and go with the two-piece construction. One of the things we're needing to know, let's get the leather out of the way so it doesn't get dirty. I want to know the balance point on one of these. Because I don't want to build the case short and have it tip out, right? Let's get us a narrower hinge. That'll work. Where you been? Let's see if this will work. Alright. So it's got to be longer than that. We might even use something pretty rare as like a ruler. I'll actually take a measurement. So if it's ending here, it's got to go down to here and dip down just a little bit. I'm going to go with like a 3/4 inch border. So if I take a measurement from my 3/4 border to the pivot point, let's just use this, round it off at 8 inches and see what happens. Bad habit. Use a tool, throw it on the bench, even though I got places for a lot of them. Okay, where's 8 inches? Now I'm going to cut that out of the short end here. There's 8. Perfect. Yeah, no waste at all. Right on 8 there. I'm going to let that come by just a little bit, see that? And then make my mark here. This is moistened Wedge tan leather. Got a few barbed wire scars in it. Big tough piece of goods, actually. Now, how wide we're going to be? So this is if that's okay, that's 3/4, 3/4 and 3/4 is 1.5. Get my notebook. So it's 3/4 and 3/4. There's 1.5, and then we're going to come across. That's scant 3 inches. 3 1/4. We're going to go down to a rivet, and I'm going to go up So there's 3/4, there's another 1.5 inches there. And another 3 1/4, another 3/4, and another 3/4. You get all that? So 1, 2, 3, well, there's 3 1.5s. That's 4 1/2, right? That don't seem right. Oh, plus. Let's call it 6 1/2. 4 1/2 plus 6 1/2. 11 inches. Where does that take us? Right. Right about there. And that makes the back. The back is going to be, it's going to be like that right there, see? Because that's got letters going down, letters coming up. Instead of rivets, I'm going to sew that because I get a narrower seam. So 6 1/2. And another 1 1/2. We're going to run short here? Maybe. 6 1/2. 1 1/2. Another 1 1/2. So 9 1/2. Let's see if we got 9 1/2 left here. Oh boy. How's that? There'd be a true accident. Tip this. Yeah, it's right on. It's exact. We're not going to have any waste out of this rascal at all. Back out. Good show. Alright, that's squared. These dirty guys should get out of the way. Now I happen to know that this bottom is a little rough, so I'm not going to square off of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to square off of this line right here. Okay, that says 8 right there. So is that 8? 8. I'm going to grab it here. Put that on 8. I'm going to come back from here so I don't end up gouging out through the middle of that. Now we might, I don't know how long this is going to be yet, but just because there's not much left, but it is usable leather, I'm going to go ahead and cut straight across here. So we'll have that piece left over in case we need to patch something. Put that. Get over here and ball. Okay. And I'm going to go back to the cutting thing with a knife. See you in a minute. Got to this point, I want to show you something. With this round You see I don't have my hands like this, right? Be a bad idea. I get in it, let the groove hold the blade, kind of push, and then where I get to the spot, can you see that? Where it's dished in here? Come right to it, and then roll across it. Just like that. Now, if I knew where that razor knife was, I could finish this with that, but I'll go ahead and finish it with this. Don't push hard, and just let it fall in the groove. This is tough. It's going to last a long time. That's what that's about. Now we'll lay this someplace where in case we need it. Thinking. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Okay, we're going to turn this upside down, I'll show you. And we're going to do a center line here. So that's saying 11. Where's my other one? That one was working in the other shop for a while. That's better. So that says 11, or nearly. So I'll split the difference. It's actually 3/32 under. So I'll put a 16th on that side and 6. Yeah, there we go. Right there. And there's 5.5. Again, we're a 16th under, or 1/8 of an inch under, so I get a 16th on both sides. Half of 11 is 5.5. And there we are. Look at that. Found it first try. It's a little groover. There it is. That'll just pull the little bead. You have to be careful with this ruler is light. I'm going to push down hard on it. That's why my hand hurt. Get it in the right direction and go like that. So it put a groove in the leather. The reason for that is I'm going to bend it right here. I'm going to groove it one more time. It looks like I'm getting a little careless with these tools. I built saddles here for about 15 years or so. And you learn ways to, like when you're doing a cut, instead of cutting up here like this, there's a knife with experience. Instead of cutting up here straight, you lay it out flat. And let the tip stay in the groove and just eyeball by it. And there you go. A lot of saddle work, you're cutting pieces that were close, and when you got them really close, then you glue them down, and then you skive it back off again and shape it. That's a skiver. That's something else a person could do. You could thin that a little bit, but I'm not going to do it for this in this case. Now, I don't think anybody watching this has got one of these, maybe one or two of you. Those are candle pliers for gluing the, squeezing the back end of the saddle cantle together before you sew it. Just clear my ends. Just thinking. I don't have to lay these on that, I can lay them on here. Ever get a chance, you get by a place where they're cutting out steel, get you a block about like that. That's doesn't matter what size it is really, but that's 1/2 inch by 4 inch by 7. Just happened to be a cutoff that I've randomly got someplace, and that's nice for pounding, backing up rivets. Be putting copper rivets. This one's had a bit of use. You can see the dimples in it. What I want it for here is this. So I want it to stay put. Let's see if these will break. They've been hanging up there for quite a while. I don't think so. Well, I'll do it this way. Alright, that goes there. What did we say that was? That was 4 inches, wasn't it? This goes in here. Ah, don't forget the 3/4 stitch line. Kind of a handy little table. That's all I have left of a house trailer I had one, or a little camper trailer I had one time. I kept the table and sent the rest of it out of here because the mice had become too familiar with it in the wintertime. Okay, there's my 3/4. Eyeballed. What do you think? How close am I? What do you know about that? I'm lining it up on this line in the fake maple. Now we're talking. And this is going to come to here, see? Now, this will be alright, because this is veg stand and it will stretch, so I'm going to go ahead and build it tight. Then I'm going to wrap my blocks in a couple of bags. Not that they need to be protected, but it just makes them bigger. And when I get them to the couple of thousandths over the size of the hole, then I'll let it dry. So let's see if this will work. This might slip off because it's plastic. I'm going to try this. Okay, this one's coming down there. That one's going there. Uh-oh. See what happened? And cut. You all saw what happened there, right? That's what the price you pay for not doing a paper pattern. Now what are we going to do? Pretty nice piece of leather, don't want to waste it. I actually know what I'm going to do. I'm just throwing some drama in there. I'm going to find out how wide I got here. Remember that piece we had left over? That's 1.5 inches right there. If I find one of these that's got a blade in it. There's not too many flies. Got a family of spiders living out here. It means the shop is healthy. I'm setting that for 1.5 inches. And just a little less. Got a gauge on it. Numbers mostly wore out. And then see the little razor blade in there, right? Right here. Don't want it jumping around on me. Oh, this one's a broken one. It's okay, we'll make it work. Alright. 1.5 inches. Probably be turning my back on you here in a second. Come on, you gotta cut. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I haven't used this stuff in a while. Let's see if this one works. Make sure it's straight up and down for some reason. That's better. If it's sharp, you shouldn't hear it. See, and then it just goes like that. Hold on, what are you doing on that? It's a 7, I want a 4. Use a number 2 maybe. What do I do with that? There is a stone under this. I'm stropping this. I don't want to hit the stone. I'm just using the edge. I've actually got a tool for doing this kind of stuff. Looks like this. Got two sizes. Two thicknesses. I'm using the narrow one. This is narrow and that's narrow. This keeps the black stuff from getting over on the red side, which I don't think really matters, but it does make it neater. Hang it up. There, edged. It doesn't cut real good because it's wet. When you're using one of those to edge a piece of leather, you want the leather dry and you want just the edge dampened, and then it'll cut smooth and clean. I could burnish this, I guess, a couple of different ways. This is one. And I'd like to kind of, I can do it here. There we go. There we got. This doesn't matter, it just makes it fancy. Kind of toughens the edge up a little bit. And what we're going to do is something like this. I'm looking for one of the lines. There we go, that's an inch there. Better mark it. I was going to fake it, but I think I better mark it. Now I got that line, but I want to fold back a little bit on the line, so I want to fold it right there. Yeah, sharp, not as sharp as I want it to be. The leather's really tough. To do that on a taper, we don't lose much strength, because the strength is in the hair side. This would be the hair side, the smooth side of this. The flesh side towards the meat doesn't have the strength. If you don't take it all off, if you, anyway, thin it down doesn't make it any less strong. Words to that effect. Okay, this is no longer on the plan. Everybody got a doorknob? Take some of that out of that. Now I kind of straightened it back up a little bit. I got it dirty, but I can clean it up. Let's go ahead . I'm going to have to take a break here and find I know where my leather punch is. I was making chainsaw gaskets with it. And this will be cut. See, they're punching holes. I could stand sharpening, but I think I'll polish it with this piece of leather. If you run your punch into end grain wood, it doesn't bend it over near as fast as if you just do it on a flat bench. The nature of the wood, it goes between the grains instead of cutting them. Makes everything easier. I'm just going to pop two rivets in there. Looks like I got company, so I'll see you later. Alright, that wasn't company, that was history. Had to chat a bit. Now I'm back punching into this end grain. Wants to stick a little bit, so I put just a little bit of saddle soap on there. I might as well do this side too. One thing you note when I'm doing the punching, even though it's going to disappear later, I'm punching with a rough side down because this leather's still a little damp from yesterday. I covered it with a plastic bag, and if you tap it on top of that with a hammer, it's going to mark the leather. So put your dirty side to the, or your hidden side in most cases. So a little saddle soap. You only have to hit it hard enough to go through it. You don't need to get carried away. And you see the nice little round holes there maybe. Light's a little weird there. Instead of yarding on it, I'm just figuring where these will live and kind of eyeballing these in. Building a prototype. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, I'm transferred, I got my holes punched. I figured where I wanted my lines on here. But wouldn't you know it, it's on the wrong side of the leather. Anyway, the point is, this is how you transfer a line without using measuring devices. Take your awl. And your line's transferred, where your mark is. Dead accurate. It's the only way that's really accurate, probably. So now I have two holes. Found something else while I was looking for the awl. Found this little, see how I do? I make a mess. That way. There it is. Little beeswax. And that'll come out of there better. You know what I'm saying? Again, I got this dirty yesterday. I just kind of put the shop back in business. Now we're going to have two rivets. I could sew it, but I thought I had rivets for this part of it. Now I got another trick if I can find it. Now I moved it. I've installed a window and lost my roll of plastic. Well, this will work. Steel plate, put some plastic on it so it doesn't mark the rivets. Yeah, it was outside. Copper rivets. It's a rivet setter. Now I'm changing hammers. This one here is a smooth face, never touches steel. Leather, I hit leather, nothing else. I kind of like this little farrier's hammer here. With the nails. Shop's kind of dried out, ain't it? I'm going to go ahead and see the hole through here. Where are you? Okay. This is going to actually mark pretty much where that crease is. I just work it down. You're not hammering the nails into wood here, you're dealing with copper. The rivets are cut in a press. They have a round corner and a square corner. Look at one. That's a burr. Actually, I said rivet. Okay, I'm on here. There's another hole there, right? I can actually use that stuff too. Try that one. So far we haven't marked the rivets. Definitely marked the plastic. Turn your volume down for a second. The rivet setting tool has a dimple right there. It's pretty well rounded off. No sharp edges. And this is something I've done. This is 11/32. Let me back the camera up. It's 11/32 socket. And that extender's been pounded on a few times, right? This has set a lot of rivets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to round these corners down in here. That was my knuckle. Okay. This makes it pretty. It doesn't catch on anything. This side's going to go against right, this will be the outside. There's nothing on the outside of your pouch to scratch your hand on. If I was putting this on a piece of horse gear, this side here would face the horse. keep from put the smooth side against the livestock instead of the. So, well, that's backwards. No, it ain't backwards. That's how you do it. So, I'm going to get set up, do a little thinking, and mark my other holes for the back. This is a reminder. This is the back. I think I'll put smooth side out. So you can make all. This is going to go here. I probably should sew that. I'll do some monkeying around and get back to you. Alright, I got it figured out where I'm going. I thought I'd show you how I'm going to mark the holes. This leather is wet. It was in a plastic bag overnight so it wouldn't dry out. I wasn't ready for it to dry yet. There's a piece I riveted on. I've got it lined up on the bottom. And now I'm going to mark these holes right here. Alright, I thought it would take up, I thought that would work better than that. Didn't hit it hard enough. Again, we'll go like this. It would mark the smooth side. See if I can make it do it anyway. There. So I got hole 1 and this one. Set that up out of there. Mark it. Where'd it go? There. Wax. Bingo. Get back to you. This is hanging up on me a little bit right here. Learned that from an old tin knocker one time. You can use the side of a screwdriver to knock the burr off. I'll do it here on this one too. See if that works better. I think those rivets are just a hair oversized or something. These nippers were custom made for me by a gentleman in Sacramento, California. And they've got a funny dip right in here. I did that had him do that on purpose. He said it made him look weird. I said that's the way I want them. What I want them to do is cut the rivet and leave a little bit so I got something to pound on. I wanted long handles, easier on my hand. That carpal tunnel on both wrists. And that knuckle that just popped. So I kind of try to hit them a little hard because they're jammed together. Might work on them someday. I'll probably wear them down enough. Should be just a little shorter. Now I'm pulling the copper, pushing it. Filling the hole up. It's not going to come off. Polish it off with the rivet tool. Good enough, put that away, and then we have our, got that part. Now what am I going to do? Not marked up. I'll be darned. Thought I was going to forget that, didn't you? Scratcher. I already did this, I'm just breaking it. Scratch that side, scratch this side. Some barred cement. Definitely want the windows open. I don't know if it's exactly recommended to glue this wet, but it will glue if you leave it long enough. This is contact cement, and needs to be dry to the touch before you put them together. I'm going to let that dry and I'll get back to you. Alright, this is the first stitch line across the bottom. I glued it down, pounded on it a little bit, got the glue to set, and then I pulled a stitch groove and cleaned up my sewing machine since I haven't used it in about 3 or 4 years. It seems to be running alright. And I'm going to put a second stitch line on the bottom. That's how we do it. Alright. Well, I had a whole lot of stuff I wanted to cover, and I thought a video would get a little long. So when the second or third visitor showed up, I had to go ahead and use that leather as it was wet or damp. And I ended up with this. This is still in the damp right now. I haven't burned the thread yet. Sewed it on my saddle stitcher. And haven't done that in a while. Put my stamp on it. So I think it's going to be okay. I'm still toying with how to hang it. I may end up on a couple of them whatchamacallits. There's a pretty good chance this will be hanging on a fire shelter harness at times. Kind of toying with putting grommets in the corners and then swinging it off some sort of clasp. I haven't figured that one out yet. I'll come up with something. I got all else fails, I'll make it out of leather. That's sort of my way of building. I build a 25 or 30 saddles, maybe not 30, close. And I got to where I was quit using patterns. I build it to the tree, and so I kind of did this in the same mode. I just built it to found a piece of leather that was actually used at all too. Piece of leather that would fit, and then just built it to the wedges. Had to make a couple of changes, but it's still tightening in there. Yada yada yada. Thanks y'all for being around. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. Good day.